look up and I thank him. Take him. I see chances, I take him. Patience. I had to grow my patience. Don't gotta play to make one.
What's good, y'all? How y'all feeling today?
Feeling good.
Feeling good? Feeling great? Feeling good?
Feeling a little cold, a little chilly.
Y'all listening in? I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you don't already know, this is 7513, the podcast. Yeah. Appreciate y'all for tuning in from wherever you are. If you're in Russia, if you're in Ukraine, if you're in Nigeria, if you're in Prince George's County, Maryland, if you're in California and Texas, wherever you are, we appreciate you for joining us. And we're glad to have you here, whether you're tuning in on Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, what's the other one?
Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast.
YouTube.
You
like a Baltimore boy.
YouTube. Uh-oh. My mic went out, producer.
It did?
It's like, I can't hear. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can barely. Why did it get so low? Or maybe it's my headset. Yeah, I can't hear nothing.
Uh-oh.
Hello. Plug me in. Tune me in.
I can hear you.
Technical difficulty. Okay.
It's better?
That sounds like a little robot, though.
No, this is his. Sorry.
Uh-oh. Now we back. Now we back in action. Don't worry about it. We back and we better. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One take, y'all. We not starting over. One take.
We really not.
Yeah, but I appreciate y'all for being here. We're going to go around the room and do a round of introductions. I'm the one on the mic talking. I'm your host. And my name is My name is Ike. It's nice to meet y'all.
It's been a little while.
We like Ike.
Can I get some applause, please? What's the crowd? Thank you.
He hasn't been here in a while.
Thank you. Right in front of me, who's over here speaking?
It's your boy, the one and only.
Go ahead.
Oh my God!
Ehide, a.k.a. Zamwe, a.k.a. Lade, a.k.a. your mommy, a.k.a. your daddy, a.k.a. we don't play. Fine Bobo from Edo State. Run the track like Edo say.
Oh my God!
A.k.a.
Every time. It gets worse every time.
I think it's like degraded.
It gets worse every time.
Hey, let me know in the chat if I beat you or not. Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh my.
I know I'd be at least like 3 people.
That's crazy.
I don't lose in rock, paper, scissors.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's a fun fact, though.
Let's move on. I appreciate it. Let's move on now.
I don't. What's good, y'all? It's me, Tale, Loverboy, whatever. Who knows? Man, I'm passing a rock.
Yeah.
Passing the rock.
What's going on, y'all? Edo said, y'all know what to do. Drop that Edo said core every now and again. About to drop some more today, so
real core, hardcore.
Hey, yo, turn me up a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that should be the
Edo said core thing.
I like that. I like Sonic a lot too.
That's crazy. Shout out to Sega.
Nah, for real. Nah, like actually, let's shout out Sega, bro. Y'all soundtrack for Sonic, y'all be doing it every time. I was doing a workout today. I was listening to a bunch of Sonic Unleashed, Sonic 06, Sonic Adventure 2. Y'all soundtracks, man, you be getting me through.
Boy.
Listen,
That's why he's the fastest man.
Yeah, man.
I ain't shouting out nothing unless y'all want to sponsor the pod.
Right. Is Knuckles black coded? That's why he always got like rap songs?
That's so crazy.
I think so. Maybe.
It's so crazy. He got locks?
I don't
know.
Hey, man. Representation. That's all we care about, right?
Right.
Cracking
Respect. Yeah. At least they didn't make him like Shadow and then black code him. 'Cause it's better than
Look, I asked the real questions, the hard questions, okay?
Uh-oh.
Everybody's afraid. I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
All right, man. Let's get into the podcast episode that we got here today.
Yes, please.
And like every episode that we have, we gotta start with a nice icebreaker. So I'm gonna look at the camera here and address some things. Thank you, producer. You on?
We didn't even shout out the producer.
You right here with me.
Who's
You right here with me. Oh,
PB&J.
let's rewind. Yes, that's who we need to find out. The producer, who is he? It is Pretty Boy G-Day. PBJ. Go ahead, hashtag PBJs in the comments. He's the one, hitting on the buttons, bringing some life and some spice.
He's the one that's giving us all the views.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Put some life and some spice into this episode. So, yeah. Now we get into the actual, the ordeals of the episode. I was going to start by looking at the camera and saying, there's been some people out here who say that our icebreakers are too long. And I want to look at you and address this and say, we're going to keep doing the icebreakers, okay?
Yeah.
Because I don't get the opportunity to talk to my boys, and I need to know where they're at. Need to understand their head, and then put some personality to the voices. So the icebreakers, they're not that long. It's only been like 10 minutes. So please, bear with us. Enjoy the ride. And by the time, you blink, we're going to be in the actual topic. I just wanted to address that really quick. And let's get into the icebreaker. No beef, please, no beef.
Yes,
But yeah, let's start with an icebreaker. So the way this icebreaker is gonna go, it's a little different. Y'all have no clue what's about to happen.
We don't.
But
Do we ever?
I'm gonna be,
No.
and that's what makes it natural and genuine. I like that. So I'm gonna be the teacher in the room,
Oh.
and you all are taking a pop quiz.
Oh.
So I have 10 questions here. It's gonna be very fast. I may not do all 10, but we'll see how it goes.
Gulp.
No Googling. Let's see anybody cheating.
Jump scare.
What you hiding under there,
Tell
Tyler?
you all the answers.
No. I'm not.
But yeah, we're
Let
gonna,
this.
gonna do a little icebreaker. I call this pop quiz, What's the Point? That's the title. So I'm gonna list off a couple items, a couple objects you come in contact with in life, just in general, you heard of, you use in your life. But I want to see if you actually know what it was made for.
Snap.
It's called What's the Point? So let's go right off the top.
Yeah.
Y'all know that little jean pocket, the small pocket that's in your jeans?
Yeah.
Not the big pocket, the small one underneath
The
it.
mini one, the baby one.
Okay, quick. The person that gets the most answers right, I got a prize for you. So put your thinking caps on. Number 1, small pocket in the jeans. What is it used for?
Coin.
Key.
Pens.
Coin.
Key.
Pens.
Final answers?
Coins.
Yes.
They're all trash. That little jean pocket is actually for back during the gold mine. They brought pocket watches. That little pocket was actually made for pocket watches.
Oh, that's why they're called pocket watches.
So if you didn't know, now you know. Go get you a pocket watch if you want to use your jeans.
That's not even big enough.
Over time, they probably made it smaller and smaller just for sentimental value. But
Okay.
So why do they still keep it in there now if no one uses like pocket watch
just for, I don't know.
or aesthetic?
For the swag.
Yep.
Is that sweat?
Is that swag? I think you swag.
I think he's swag.
So everybody, 0, 0, 0. No points on the board. Number 2. Y'all know the hole on the top of a pen cap, like a big pen?
Yeah.
What is it for?
To it's like no, I don't.
I ain't gonna front.
Maybe
Is it for like the ink?
No.
Is it to help the
It's a
little
whistle.
the little pen ball to Are you mad?
Like if you need your teacher, you take it out.
Is it like to help the ball on the top of the pen to like roll so it can get some more ink?
Nah. What about you, Edison? What says you?
Bro, I don't know.
Might at least make sense.
Okay.
Wait, can I phone a friend? Do you know any of these by chance?
Producer?
Doesn't.
Dang. What did we give you that scholarship for?
Wait.
Are you not going?
No, but
Your books.
I don't think
Yikes.
anybody would have guessed this. It's actually suffocation protection. So if a child was to swallow the cap,
they'll
They
still be
want-
able to breathe.
yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yep.
Where are you getting these?
Don't worry about it. It shows
Man.
y'all don't know
worry
nothing.
about it.
Nah, I can make all these up.
Y'all don't know nothing.
Nah, that would make sense.
It does make sense. Though.
Fact check me. Okay, number 3. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Y'all know the little ridges on the outside of a quarter?
Oh God.
What is it for?
This one I gotta know.
No, you don't.
Dang.
The ridge outside of
it
a
makes so
quarter.
much sense.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh! It's for blind people so that they know that it's a quarter.
No.
Tell me, no. Tell me in the comments. Tell me that's not like genius.
Our producer
that
actually
was
knows
so
this one.
inclusive of you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
This is an
Oh, he knows
inclusive
it?
podcast. You
All
know
right,
the
let me-
answer, producer?
Let me think about this joint.
You have a answer? Okay, shout it out, producer. What's your answer?
It's for copyright.
Oh, our producer on the
copyright.
board.
He got
is
it?
on the board.
Wow, copyright.
So
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that either.
I'm gonna give it to him. It's not really
Oh,
copyright
like, for
but
real.
It's
So, like, the
for
real ones.
to prevent
Counterfeiting.
Oh, it's like a
debasement of
key.
money.
It's like a key, basically?
It's to prevent debasement of money. So back in the day when they had quarters, people used to shave the edges off the quarter and save
to
the
make-
material.
To make more.
Yeah, to make more or just sell it like that. So to prevent people from doing that, they added a ridge. So if you know somebody shaved it off, you could tell that their money has been tampered with.
Damn,
We don't
a
use
lot of stuff.
Yeah, we don't use it now today, but they just keep it there for sentimental value.
Bruh,
I'm
I feel
learning
like,
so
I feel like
much.
my reason was so tough though.
That is really. That's why I said. I'm
Somebody
glad that you was
lying,
thinking about
like,
that.
oh,
Yeah.
snap, it's a quarter because it got the ridges.
So why wouldn't they put that on all the coins? It's
So
just
that
on
you
the
know,
quarter.
I don't know.
It is.
Oh, it's
just on
really.
the qu-
Yeah,
I never thought about that.
Yeah, only on the quarter.
It's not
Yeah.
on. It's not on dimes. It's not on
That's
nickels.
crazy. Yeah.
Because quarters are the most important.
Yeah, nobody really care about nickels.
Or
Yeah.
pennies.
No.
All right, we got number 4. I think I'm gonna do like 2 or 3 more.
All right.
Yeah.
I think y'all
catch up.
probably saw this on social media.
I doubt
But
it.
the soda can tab that you use to open the can, you know the little hole
Yeah.
on top of the tab?
Yeah.
What is that for?
For the straws, right?
Oh, I'm gonna get all 3. Everybody on the board. Did you say something?
I said straws. Yeah.
I said straws.
Okay.
I didn't say straws.
Everybody said straws.
I didn't say
at the same
anything.
time.
I'm being integrous.
Ooh.
Integrous.
Integris?
Zonway in last place. So Tale, Edose, and our producer in the back, PBJ. Y'all got 1
said
point.
it
Good
too?
job. No, but he
No, he had
answered
a
the
point
last
from-
question.
Oh, okay. I gotta get on the board.
Okay,
bro.
I'm gonna give you 2 more chances.
Get on the board, bro.
All right. So if y'all ever bought new clothes, especially like a button up, you know it comes with a little plastic baggie with buttons and extra fabric sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not asking about the buttons. What is the extra fabric for?
To tie the button in,
Let's say to help you
like the string.
No, it'll come like extra piece of fabric that looks just like the shirt that you got.
to sew it
To
back.
sew a
if
new
it gets
one.
a hole.
A
in
new
it.
a hole.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's my final answer.
I don't even know.
There's no other.
I can't even think. I only remember the
Patches?
Yeah.
I only remember the button. Is it if you if you take out the tag it leaves a hole? So
That joint happened to me so many times, bro. I'll be sick.
It's useful, but that's not.
yeah, you know when you take out the tag
Yeah.
and it be a hole there.
Whole shirt is ruined.
Yeah, bro.
That's
Just
Look at
why-
my face ruining it.
because I want to be comfortable. I
That's
don't
why
know what
when,
is it
when
for.
they got the peelable tags, that was like revolutionary.
Oh yeah.
That joint's crazy.
But no, that's a good use now. But what it was actually for is so that when you get fabric, you can test like your fabric softeners and detergent on it to see if it messes up your clothes.
Does stuff like that though.
Wait a minute. No, for real.
So that you don't just go in and ruin your clothes you just got.
You have like a little test fabric.
Test
Yeah,
fabric.
test fabric.
That's so smart though.
That is smart.
So this last one is your chance to get on the board.
I already know it.
We gonna make this one 3 points. All right. Yeah. We're gonna make this one 3. Ooh, let me pick a good one. Let's do this one. The margins on a notebook.
Oh god.
What are they for? Nobody gonna get this.
No, I know what I know what they're for.
What are they for?
Isn't it?
It's like no, I actually. So this is what I think it's for. I think it's for like
I seen a video on it.
it's for like liner notes.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Anybody else?
Is it are they to be able to number things well and easily?
Isn't it for like spacing or something like that?
Spaces?
Spacing, like
Like
No,
margins.
the margins on the side, the left and the right side, not the margins going straight down the page. Sorry, I should have clarified.
This right?
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking
margins.
about.
Yeah.
So
Like
like
that space on the side.
The
Yeah.
spot that they tell you not to write in.
yeah, that's for liner notes.
Producer?
yeah,
Nothing?
I don't know. Yeah.
We gotta check if his degree real. Nobody's gonna get this. What it was actually for is because back in the day where we had poets and writers and all that, they had to store their pages and houses and things like that. And they come in contact with rats. And you know rats eat paper.
So they'll
So
eat the egg.
the creators of the paper added margins so that over time the rats will bite at the margins and your work won't be ruined.
But what if they're still hungry and it just kept eating and eating?
I mean, it just adds an extra buffer. Just in case.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
That's crazy. They're thinking about rats.
Hey man, So where we at? We're at 1 and 1 for the producer. Zonway got 0.
How many did you guys get? Okay then.
Actually, put it in the comments. I actually want to know how
Y'all got
did.
-1.
-1. But I think rather than giving y'all reward, it's best to just give him a punishment. Can we get a Boo Tomatoes sound drop?
Plain boo. Tomatoes.
This guy stinks.
Oh, brother.
Tomatoes all over my
stinks.
Nah, but I really appreciate y'all for joining. I have more too. Catch me after the podcast. Cause
I actually want to hear the other ones
Yeah,
after the
I'll do
episode.
it after the episode.
No, not right now. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Then they're gonna be like,
really quick.
icebreakers tea. And y'all know y'all want these facts.
Fine.
Cold hard facts. Real core, Edelset core. I messed up. Real core, hardcore, Edelset core. Yeah.
It's not always about what you want. Sometimes about what you need. Dog. See that? I'm in my little Edelset bag. I'm in my little Edelset bag. My little Edelset Duffy.
Nah, I appreciate y'all for entertaining me in that nice little pop quiz.
Yeah.
And it's really good because the title of our episode is Purpose. What's your purpose? How to find your purpose? What to do with your just everything purpose related. So you see how in this example, who you pointed at? For those on audio, I don't know what do you do?
I don't know. I feel like that's like purpose. Like
He's pointing right at
you
you.
just point straight at the camera.
All his fingers.
What's your
With
purpose?
all my fingers.
For those in the military, he's doing knife hand as they call it.
Oh,
So you got the drill sergeant. When you get the knife hand, you know you're in trouble.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, he points at you with the knife hand. You done for it.
My bad, y'all.
I'm scared.
But yeah, we're talking about all things purpose. Now on the pop quiz you saw, imagine if you got a nice pair of jeans back in the 70s and you don't you're not using it to its full potential. You're not putting the pocket watch where it's supposed to be.
You're not using the extra fabric.
You're not using the extra fabric. You just going in washing your clothes all nilly-willy, and now you know you got bleach stains on your black turtleneck, and you're done for. Like,
Right.
It's important to know. It just reminds me of that episode of Phineas and Ferb when everybody realized what an aglet was.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, dang, that's what it was called, and that's what it's used for, to save your shoestrings. So, yeah, we're talking about purpose, and I just want to start like. Do y'all feel like y'all know y'all purpose in life?
Yes, we do. Well,
Yeah.
I can speak for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do. I think the interesting thing about purpose is that it's dynamic. So your purpose when you're 5 years old isn't necessarily going to be your purpose when you're 15 versus 25 and 30. Like I feel like your purpose can always evolve and change. You don't always have to be the same
Interesting.
thing.
I've never heard that before.
I don't know. I kind of disagree.
I see it differently as well. Not disagree, but I feel like that's part of purpose. Or I feel like what that is more so can be called like assignment or like what you have to do. But I feel like your purpose, to me, it doesn't really change. I think like your purpose is like, so you're using like your examples, all those inventions and things. And when I think of purpose, I think like what was this thing invented for? What was it created for? And so like, what am I created for? I feel like my purpose is to glorify God, or like that's part of the purpose.
Yeah.
The main purpose, like glorify God. And then like how you're doing it kind of thing. I think that's what changes like from age to age or like season to season, assignment to assignment.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was harping on. I probably used the wrong verbiage, but yeah, pretty much.
But wouldn't you say that like, because I mean, we're all Christians and that is, we're all called to do that regardless. When you say purpose, are you talking about like, because, you know, we have individual, you know, for example, like Edo said, be talking to Bama's and stuff like that. So, we be doing like music or like.
So let's say for the sake of clarity. So we're going to have a baseline that we all agree with. You say yes or no. So as a Christian, the Bible tells us our purpose. All right, it says in different ways, like being a fisher of men, you know, make disciples of all nations, things of that nature. So our underlying purpose for life is to spread the gospel.
Yes.
Agree?
That's part of it, yeah.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as the how, that is also your purpose. Like you did some examples, like Edo said, speaking. As far as how people go about doing those things is different.
Yeah.
I don't make music. I'm not an athlete currently in my past life.
It's okay.
But but yes, my purpose is not to spread the gospel on a big stage, on a big platform, like somebody like CJ Stroud, who is a rookie quarterback for the Texans right now. And he talks about, his purpose is spread the gospel and his platform is football.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's more so I'm talking about. Have you figured out your purpose as far as like how you would spread the gospel? How will you live life? How will you be a fragrance of life and not death?
There's
Like,
so many terms: purpose, assignment, platform, mission.
I think purpose and assignment is different. Actually, to your point,
yeah.
like your purpose can be the same. Your assignment at that stage could be go make music in Africa, go make music in the UK, or whatever. That assignment can change, but like how you do it could probably.
Okay.
I think I
From my
mixed the two.
opinion,
Yeah.
from my opinion, y'all can disagree, agree.
No, I think that sounds about right. Like an assignment's like an actual, not like an overarching goal, but it's like an actual like 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 a video game.
Yeah,
A video game, you have the overarching end goal of the game, but you have like not even side missions. You have like main missions to work up to the end goal.
like tasks and stuff.
Yeah. So assignment is like the different tasks.
Yeah. So let me ask you again. Do y'all feel like you know your purpose? It's okay to say no.
I think so. Yeah.
That's
I think
what you're actually asking is like, do we know our assignment?
Yeah.
Because everyone
We
has
all-
the same purpose.
Purpose
It's like
is to glorify God. and
glorify God, spread the gospel, like even like one of the part of purposes I feel is like communion with God, and just like God created us out of love. So like just to love on God and like spread the love of God kind of thing.
But I think our assignment
assignments is like
the one that's
do we know
individualistic.
what our assignment is right now kind of thing? I feel like that's what you're asking.
No, I just think I'm asking about the how. Like you have your purpose,
Yeah,
like I said, and then the how. So in that breakdown, we just want to talk for sake of clarity. Like the purpose was spread the gospel, make disciples of the nation, things like that, be fisher of men. The how, which is also tied to the purpose. For example, if somebody was an athlete, that was the how. His assignment is where he applies the how.
Gotcha. Okay,
So CJ Stroud was the example. His his purpose, share the gospel. The how was him being an athlete. The assignment was being an athlete for
In
the
Texas.
Texans.
Okay.
He could be an athlete anywhere. That's the assignment. And then he's not always going to be a Texan. He's going to get old. He's going to move on. But his purpose and how can still be an athlete. He can transition to being a coach. He can transition to be a mentor. He can. It's still centered around that athletics.
true.
If he decides that was his purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let me try to use, or I'm just gonna say everything, and then I guess based off of your
Match
definition,
it to the right
you
brain.
match it to what it is. So, I already discussed like the purpose.
Now, what is it? Restate it. What's your purpose?
Okay, so my purpose: glorify God, communion with God, love God, fellowship with God, spread the news about God, like the gospel, encourage other people. Excuse me, with my gifts, with the resources, everything that God has given me and blessed me with. I feel like all that is my purpose, and I'm achieving that through life as I'm doing like these different tasks or assignments or whatever you want to call it. And so I think like my main assignment in fulfilling that purpose is, I'll say, teaching / encouraging, like advising, counseling. And then how I do that, it varies. So it's like I do that through my music. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm a musician. It's your boy Zomway.
What?
AKA. It's like not like that. But yeah, through my music, through visual arts, and then through like just teaching people like one-on-one, whether it's just like life lessons, mentorship, just listening to people's problems, encouraging them, giving advice, things like that. So I don't know where you plug all that stuff into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you said the purpose. We talked about the main purpose. The how was through your visual arts and those gifts, music and things like that. Yeah. The how was through music and visual arts and gifts and things like that. and it plays out, and that helps with, like you said, mentorship and counseling and things like that. And that can always transition. Like you may not be the same artist you are today. You may transition from in the forefront of people to actually helping people hone their art one day. So that's the avenue that you've I don't want to say you've chosen, which was given to you and you've realized.
Yeah.
But
that's good.
What about you all?
Yeah, for me, it's kind of similar right now.
That'll say cool. Okay, let's go. Oh my goodness.
But right now, obviously, to run track, and then eventually.
Wait, you run track?
Oh yeah, I do.
You know we got new people in this episode.
You're right. So I run track for Under Armour currently in Nigeria.
Dang.
Oh my God! Right now, I think that's the main assignment, and then eventually, I also dabbled into mindset coaching and mental performance coaching, and so it's teaching athletes, what the mindset that it takes to become a great athlete and to perform at your highest level, to not succumb to the pressures of competition or even just life itself. And so I think that's another angle that my assignment is also leading me to as well. And just through the knowledge that I've gained as a track athlete, I can definitely teach the next generation. And then, similar to what Ide said, just teaching people, encouraging people. So I think that's my purpose. Purpose obviously to glorify God, but I think that's my current assignment.
Can I ask? Because I've known you for a while, but not necessarily through I want to ask how you've gone about achieving the underlying purpose, which is to glorify God, make disciples of all nations, as an athlete. How has those things kind of intertwined, and how have you used the platform you've been given in order to fulfill that underlying purpose? Because people may just see your Instagram page, see you running, you just run in circles. Like, okay, how do you use that for God? Like, how? Yeah,
so definitely just in the way I carry myself, like really honing in on the biblical based principles and teaching people biblical truth, and encouraging them with the word. So I might not really say, John chapter this, verse this, but just speaking life into people. I think that's one way to really, one of the gifts of the Spirit, or one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit is encouragement. And then another gift is administration and teaching. And so some of those things, people ask me for advice and tips all the time. How can I run a better 800? So it was me teaching them, this is what it is, type of thing. So just using the gifts that God has given me, and then just living my life, letting my life speak for itself. Every time I go back to trap, people are you're such a stand-up gentleman, you're this, you're that. Yeah, so just acting as Christ-like as I can, and just letting Christ reflect, not only through my life on the track, but just through my life in general.
Have you been in situations where people ask you oh, wow, you're different, Edo said, and they ask you why?
Yeah, that's happened a lot. I can just tell there's something about you that you're just different. I can tell that you actually stand for things. You're not. I can tell you're a God-fearing man. I can tell you have faith. I hopped on a podcast with some people I went to high school with, and that's one thing that they talked about too. And I was just like, dang, this was 10, 11 years ago, and they was mentioning that. So that was good.
Yeah, and that's when you catch them, you give them a little sprinkle of Jesus. Don't make sure they don't run away.
Oh, attack! Jesus Christ! Attack!
But nah, Talizi. What says you?
Yeah, mine is actually a weird bridge between those two. So I think mine was more found out recently. As you know, or as you don't know, I also do music. Right?
What?
Oh my God! Yeah, I do music. And I think my calling is, it's funny. A lot of people think that just because you're in the same avenue doesn't mean that you guys have the same exact thing. Hide and I, I'll explain. So Hide and I's purpose and calling in music is, in my opinion, they run parallel with each other, but they're not in they're in the same sphere of music, but they're not in the same exact place, right?
Same neighborhood, different address.
Exactly. So for me, I've even begun. In my head, I've been calling it a Jonah moment. I've been trying to avoid Nineveh for a little while. and I've been praying about it. So the Lord has been basically telling me that, like, yo, in the music scene here, it's dry. It's tired. It's sad. You know.
And what do you mean by here?
So here in the DMV, that's the DC,
okay.
Maryland, Virginia metropolitan area, right? Even though we have a plethora of talented musicians, both secular and spiritual, we have nothing. When I say nothing, I mean like we have no platforms. We have spaces, but we have nothing. And the Lord has been like telling me, like, you know, with the gift that I have, which is like encouragement, like Edo says, and I just know how to be a fan. I know how to be a fan. I know how to be a support. I know how to be a fan. I know how to be a friend. And through that, I've gotten like a network of outside of here and here of people. And then also with resources that I have just from, like, you know, working, you know, that racks, you know, man. I've been able to like put on like shows for myself and put other people on those shows and even like pay them and stuff like that. And then try to make that like a constant thing and even have like a template to make it happen, not just for me, but for others. So like this year, I've been really gingering like all the like my music friends, like, yo, let's make some scenes. Let's make something in the scene. Let's really do something like that. And the way that the Lord has been like blessing me with it is that like it also has been allowing me to speak to people on a personal level about their lives and about it. Just gives me avenue. It gives me access to people without me having to. I don't have to go and do anything that I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to go to like a club. I don't got to go. I don't got to go anywhere because they're going to come to me.
Okay.
And then when they come to me,
let me break that. What I thought I heard.
Okay, go ahead.
You're creating a space, an area where, you know, you find enjoyable. Like there's a common thing that you all enjoy, which is music. And you're providing that space that you have created so that you don't have to go look for the space. You can attract like-minded people who have that same interest, and then you can have your sprinkle of Jesus moment.
I can make it more than a sprinkle, because where are they going to go?
Overflow.
Exactly. Because where are they going to go? I mean, I made the space. From? The Lord made the space right here. Like, you can't run.
Where they came from?
Nah, but there's nothing over there. They're going to rather stay here, and because there'll be opportunity. Yeah. That's the thing. A lot of people like to go for opportunity, especially musicians. They, no offense to the musicians around me or anything like that, or anybody. You love to be put on versus you having to, you know, that's just natural.
Yeah,
you know. So if I'm the one that's putting on, and I'd be like, yeah, thank God, you know, Jesus, you're not gonna run because you got the opportunity right here. So you gonna hear it regardless. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
So, yeah, and then just like seeing other like-minded individuals, like my friends and stuff like that also have that type of spirit of creating a space. You know, I know like 2 or 3 people that are like that too, and where, you know, this, you know, where 2 or 3 are gathered. You know what I'm saying? it's already done. You know,
where 2 or 3 are gathered in the name of the Lord.
Wait.
But that's how it's,
exactly. But so I think that's like. And then I was calling it a Jonah moment because there was something I was like, you know, maybe I'll move away, go to a different scene that's already established, and you know. But then that's like comfortability. That's me. Yeah. You know, it's a lot easier to do that for me to go to New York or LA or not Atlanta. I don't want to go to Atlanta, but New York or LA or wherever, Portland, wherever, that there's an actual scene already established, and I could just insert myself. And it's not that hard, but, you know, that's sometimes the easy way is not the best way.
Yeah, you learn so much through the trials and tribulations. And thank y'all for sharing. I think it's my turn.
Did you share yours?
No, I didn't.
Please share.
I have 2 purposes. One, the way that, spread the gospel, make disciples of all nations, fishers of men, and things like that. The way I do that, one, is by talking to people. I have a knack for being able to put myself in other people's shoes. And that comes in handy when I'm talking to people that I feel like either the church or other people have given up on.
Wow.
And like being that bridge to explain things, or being that bridge to add clarity, or being that bridge to be like, focus on God and push them towards God. Like it is not hard for me to be cordial and to be, I use friends very loosely. If I don't hate you, you don't hate me. Odds are we're friends. So it's not hard for me to maintain friendships with people who I don't have to agree with 80% of their life. Yeah. I can just talk and have conversations. And I've gotten really good at that by listening, honestly, listening to other people who don't have the same opinions as me, listening to them and finding grounds to just hold a conversation. Yeah. So that's number one for me, because I really do feel like if there's one place the church can improve on, is being able to, I don't want to use the word, it's not nurture, but steward, that's the word, steward those people who are,
that's a good Christian word,
not even like, who may not understand the whole gospel yet, or trying to learn and trying to understand in a way where you can still uphold a standard.
Yeah, like get to their level basically that they can understand and bring them up to you.
Exactly. And I do think there's a lot of areas where the church, and when I say the church, I'm not talking about the building, I'm talking about us as people. Sometimes I feel, and this is what the burden that the Lord put on my heart, I feel that Christians can oftentimes forget that they weren't always Christian.
Compassion.
And it's like, come on, like, please, context and everything. Can you remember, and also remember the fact that there's nothing different between you and those that you say are out in the world. The only difference is that you said yes to the gospel. That's it. Without the Holy Spirit, without Jesus, all of us would be ragged. We'll be tattered. Tattered.
I actually have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
How do you steward that space with a person that's been burned?
With a person that's been burned? Like I said, adding that context, understanding their emotion, and saying, calling a spade also. Like, if
like just being real?
Yeah, if you hear their story and like, this is what happened, one, you could be like, yeah, I'm sorry that happened. If it was generally long, like, this is where you have to build that relationship, understand like what happened in that situation. You'd be like, okay, yeah, this aspect was wrong. And also add in the context of what they were trying to achieve. There are cases where some people just are a little stubborn, or they just don't want to be told anything that they're doing wrong in any way, and they run away. And that takes a little bit of like discernment.
You gotta break them down.
Yeah, and that's where asking those questions and having those conversations come from.
No, he said the nicer way.
I know.
That's what I meant.
Not break them down.
Not break them down.
Fucking Bronco.
You gotta bring the walls down, like unpack them.
Yeah,
right.
Let's unpack that.
Honestly. And as people start to talk, you kind of see where their head is at, where their motive is at, and then that's where you can insert scripture. You can talk about different things, or really explain. Just talk to them about life, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's my first purpose. I think I'm actually really good at that. And a lot of people make, in conversations.
So that's like reconciliation, basically. You're good at like
that's
finding the disconnect and then reconnecting them back.
And I know a lot of people wouldn't take the time to do such a thing.
Yeah, it's true.
It may seem, tiresome or whatever.
Yeah.
But
so that's a one-on-one thing, man.
Yeah,
you can't one on maybe a group max.
Yeah, you can't do it for everybody. And I don't know. I can talk to people about anything. And when you get people talking and they
start to trust,
feel like that you're actually listening to what they're saying, and you're not just trying to say, or like you actually care about the person.
Yeah.
And then people actually really respond to that. So that plays out even on the podcast. Sometimes it may seem like, I don't want to be too controversial. That may be, a gift and a not so much. But but yeah, I'm learning. I'm honing it as I go and as I grow.
Okay, whip 'em.
Yeah. I said 2, right?
You did.
The second one was kingdom financing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kingdom finance is pretty much people who make money for the sake of supporting the church. Like that's like one of their main drivers. And It is. I would say it is not an easy road because we know the scriptures. Like it's much easier for a camel to enter an eye of a needle than for a rich man to make heaven. So
that is such a wild phrase.
it is. It's very wild, but it
makes
gives
sense,
that
though.
perspective because money. The love of money happens really fast if you don't, if you're not careful, pride and all of that thing. So that last, I don't think is for everybody, and it really takes a lot of. I mean, all of the purposes take discipline, and whatever avenue that you're in,
discipline and consistency.
yeah,
man.
and that's why like it's given to you for a reason. Because sometimes it may seem so hard for everybody else, but for you, it's just like, nah, it's not
natural.
even.
It comes naturally.
Yeah, so for me, I know that I'm very frugal with money, and I enjoy the fact to be able to give to somebody. Like, it sounds bad, but how it makes me feel, somebody being blessed by something is just it's unmatched. Like you can't really like replace that, especially when it's somebody that can't give you anything back,
right?
Because you're like, dang, especially like you had the words to say. Not like it's like, man, I really got the chance to help somebody in a situation that they wouldn't have been able to. And one burden that put in my heart that like got me there was like, man, always seeing stuff that the church wants to do, or why can't we fix the audio equipment in the church or pay for lessons for whatever group of people, or do this or do that, replace the chair. We always got to like ask and can somebody like give money or do this or da-da-da-da and really fundraise. And it's like, bro, why can't there be a couple, 10 people that really got that bag and just be like, yeah, that's nothing. Let's fix it. It's for the Lord. Let's do it.
They there. They got the bag, bro. They there.
But not everyone has the heart.
Yeah.
Like the mindset about this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So that's just for me. I prayed about it for a while, and yeah, that's the journey. The Lord just continuing to train me in that area and really figure it out. That's why anytime it comes to finances and like finance talk in the Bible and the principles of finances, I'm like, what I gotta do? Yeah, because I don't want to. The scripture is there. It's easier for a camel to enter the eye of a needle than for a rich man.
I don't know why that joke makes me laugh so bad.
Yeah, it is.
Like, if you got bands, bro, you better change your mind, dog. It's either a needle. A needle that small like this, a camel, big camel, needle like this, that's for you to go to heaven.
Yeah,
that's really wild.
Y'all Bryn.
The principle of that story was just like loving the possession more than you love God.
Yeah.
Because in that story, he asked the guy, was like, okay, leave everything and follow me. And he was like,
I ain't trying to do that.
How much can I just pay? So yeah, and that's gonna be a hard struggle because when you work and feel like you built a lot of wealth to just walk away from it, it's gonna be a hard struggle. But I'm praying the Lord leads me in that and helps me out. So yeah. Nah, I appreciate y'all for talking about your purposes. You know, purpose. That's the real aspect.
Yes, sir.
Hey, G-Day, what's your purpose? PBJ? Nah, we working. It's all right. You don't got.
I have something.
Something. All right, one thing.
One thing I would say, similar to yours, just being. There's a scripture Paul talks about being, for the Jews he was a Jew, for the Greeks he was a Greek.
Okay.
I think just being able to relate to different people.
Okay. PBJ can relate to people. Yeah. Can come down to your level.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's really
Shout out,
good.
PBJ.
Since we talking about purposes, before we get a little deeper, y'all remember the purpose of this podcast?
First Peter 4. Well, that's the collective as a whole, right?
Yeah, we had a mission statement.
First
and
Peter
then we had
4,
a scripture.
10 to 11.
Okay, somebody reading it. Somebody studying.
I ain't gonna
I'm looking at you, Edelson. I'm looking at you, Tale. What's going on? You're Raggy.
That's how you Raggy.
the wheels on the bus go round and round.
But nah, I'm gonna read it because it's been a long time since we actually mentioned the mission.
Yeah.
Our first episode, we we thought, what do we want to do with this thing? So I'm gonna read our mission statement for those who didn't watch the first episode. 1, shame on you. 2, there's forgiveness. 3, there's grace. So the mission statement.
Triple whammy.
Through media arts, our mission is to paint a holistic picture of what it means to live as a Christian in order to inspire young adults to discover their unlimited creativity in Christ. Unlimited. Mr. Unlimited.
Oh my god. Ew. Unlimited.
Oh, my head.
I don't know that. I don't know that reference, but I like the way it sounded.
Russell Wilson.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
What?
I got slums, bro. Broncos Nation, let's ride.
Not no more. Sorry, Russ.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wish for the best. But the guiding scripture that goes along with that was 1 Peter, 4 verse 10 to 11. As Zomway said, and I'm going to read it really, really quick.
Fast.
Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, they should do so with the strength God provides, so that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen.
You
This
love that
producer is
sound.
on point.
You love that sound.
Hey, we need him on every episode. Forget you, Zomway. Forget you, Tyler. He knows what's going on.
I'm okay with that.
That's the point, though. That's the purpose. Pass it down. Replace me, G-Day.
But yeah, I want to emphasize inspiring young adults to discover their unlimited creativity in Christ. And the same thing that I pointed out in the very first episode, the same thing I want to point out here, where it talks about each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others. Mm-hmm. Whatever gift you have received. Mm-hmm. There are many gifts. It's not just pastor, preacher, evangelist. The fivefold is great. I'm not minimizing it. Without the fivefold, we wouldn't have structure. We wouldn't have the church as it is today. None of that. But there's also individual pieces that go into the fivefold, like being supported. Yeah. And kind of think of it, for me, my perspective, is kind of like the army. Like a lot of people just see the army and think pew, 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 shooting guns, aircrafts, bombs, the soldiers that fight. But they don't know in the army there's jobs, there's logistics, there's finance. If those soldiers don't get their money, they're not going to be motivated.
That's real.
There's doctors, there's veterinarians, there's what else? Lawyers. There's all these different jobs that go into supporting the entire organization of the army. It's not just the people that fight. Without that support, they wouldn't be able to do what they do. So, that was one of the purposes that we wanted to start this podcast on, was just like really inspiring people to like see what the Lord has given them and to use that creativity. And that's sort of the driver of our conversation, so that people can open their minds and think and all of those different stuff. So
I think we're moving in that too. A lot of Sundays, I go to church and people be like talking to me about like the episode. Yeah. Or they'd be like, oh yeah, when you said this or sometimes, a lot of times, I'm gonna keep it a second. A lot of times people be disagreeing. Not even rebuke. They just disagree, and okay. We love that. I mean, I love that. It's a discourse. That's the whole point. We're not everything we say isn't. It's not everything is Bible.
Our opinions aren't always facts. So, our opinions aren't always a universal fact.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then also there was something that you said that made me it like ding. Something that was talked about at a church on Sunday, like literally, like today's Monday, right? Yesterday.
Yeah, it's a holiday.
He was like, our pastor was like, everybody thinks that a ministry or like a purpose or a calling got to be in front of a mic, or got to be like, in front of the stage. You got to be in front of the people. Nah, bro. Like those guys are cool, but it's like the behind the scenes is just so much more. Not they're both important, but the behind the scenes is just so much more, in my opinion, fruitful for the individual. Because when you're like in the front, you are a servant, right? You're gonna get stuff. You're definitely gonna get stuff, but it's a lot harder because you got to split your attention. Whether you're like in the choir, or you're singing, or you're preaching, or whatever. You got to split your attention. There's always like a focus that is away from, so you got to, it's harder to fully go in tap in while somebody that's like working in the back, bro, they're able to like work and then tap in like fully way easier, in my opinion. As somebody that did the behind and the front, I feel like the behind, it's just easier to tap in.
I think it varies as far as like who's doing it. Some people are just good at like multitasking, like paying attention while they're even like preaching or like even singing or whatever. And then some people can also equally be distracted like when they're just behind the scenes. So to me, in my opinion, I feel like it depends on the person. But I do get what you're saying. It may be easier.
I feel like it's just easier.
Certain cases.
Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. When I work in behind the scenes, it was like a lot easier to just tap in. Versus like, being in the moment, I'm still able to tap in just because of quote unquote experience, I guess. But maybe it's just me. I don't know. Prove me wrong. Or prove
I got
me
a question though.
Yeah.
As far as like the gifts and everything. So I know like people have this question like how did you guys find your gifts?
Look, we in one spirit. That was gonna be my next question.
Oh, okay.
Hey, no, go ahead.
No, I mean because
go ahead.
I know like for a lot of people it can be like very natural, quote unquote. Like for me, I was playing drums when I was like 2. They're exposing me to music.
Yeah.
I was even talking with my mom yesterday. She was like, they're playing like music when I was in the womb, like for me to calm down, go to sleep. So like all that music stuff and like art stuff, I was surrounded by that. My whole life is natural. And I know like for a lot of us, our gifts are quote unquote natural, like kind of just came natural to us. But for those people that like, there's a lot of people like that, like, oh, I don't really know what is natural. So how can I figure out what I'm good at, or like how can I figure out my gift?
That was so cool.
Yeah, I got y'all. So there is a verse in Ecclesiastes chapter 11. I believe it's either verse 1 or verse 2. It talks about investing in many ventures. And
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that's in the Bible.
in the Bible?
Yeah, it says invest in. I forgot I don't know the exact version, but it says invest in many ventures, and then I don't know what the rest of it says, but I just key in on that part, and it's like, to me when I read that, I interpret that as just try different things, like try different things out, and a lot of times, and this is something I struggle with too, because obviously being an athlete and you're in church, you're kind of like, all right, what can I do to like serve in church? And I think when we limit ourselves to just what we do outside, we don't realize the stuff or the knowledge that you're gaining within. And so gifts can be formed with the things that you do, like naturally, quote unquote. Like for me, I didn't know I had a gift of teaching until I was kind of thrown into it. And so this is what I talk about, like invest in many ventures, like try things. Don't be afraid to try things out. Sometimes, volunteer. If you see a place that you need to serve, just try to do that. It might not come to you naturally, but if you try it out and you realize, okay, I have a knack for this, I might be able to do this and like get better at it, and you realize, oh, I can do this and get better and stuff like that. So I think that's one way to find your gift. And then 2, sometimes people got to call it out of you. Like to some people, they'll tell you, you have the gift of this or gift of that. I remember when I did something, one of our pastors was like, you have a gift of teaching. And I was like, dang, no one ever told me that before. And then someone else told me, oh, you have the gift of administration. I was like, oh, like, what's that? Like, I know. So sometimes it takes someone else to call out that gift in you to see what the gift is.
Yeah, that's good. I was going to add to your first point. Like sometimes it'll show you like what you have a knack for, but sometimes it'll show you like, or it will be like a launching pad for like something else. It's like, I'm not really good at this, but then since I was doing this, I was also exposed to that. And then it's like, oh, that's actually what I need to be doing. But another thing I would say too is like just going back to the whole invention stuff, the icebreaker stuff we were talking about. One way I think that you can figure out your gifts and all that is like going to who created those gifts.
The
so like,
source.
Yeah, go to the source. Like go to the creator. Ask him how's the creation supposed to be operating. Like ask God like, what do I need to be doing in life? Like, I mean, it sounds cliche, like just ask God, but it's more so like, I think of it as like, if you really make it like practical, like imagine like going to your dad and just asking him about yourself, like about your history, about your roots, about like, oh, how was I when I was a child? What was I gravitating towards? It's kind of the same thing if you look at it in that way, like just talk to God, like about yourself, like ask God to reveal yourself to you. Like, what am I good at? Yeah. And I feel like God will honor that fellowship that like and sometimes you don't even have to ask him like, oh, like just fellowship with God. Like just as you're in proximity with people, like you get to hear secrets, you get to understand more about them, and they can tell you about yourself. So like I feel like when you're in fellowship with God, some of those things also come out as well.
Yeah. And I also want to add, when it comes to gifts, a lot of times we think there's something that we don't have to work towards or develop,
Right.
but you still have to work to develop that same gifts that
Even
you
your
have.
natural
And
gifts.
exactly,
Yeah.
even the natural ones. We think, just because it comes naturally, that I don't have to put in work.
You have to
no,
still work.
You still have to develop it and then deploy it, and so.
Now that's good. To your point about going towards God, it's like it reminds me of like when you're just in Sunday school or you're in service and you hear a story about a character in the Bible, you're like, dang, that is tough.
Yeah, it gets inspired.
And you go read the whole story, you're like, dang, what if that's I want to be like that person.
Yeah.
That could be a launching pad because then you start learning about like the character of that person and really understanding, really understanding who they are, and that's like you start to see stories a little differently. And that I remember that kind of reminds me of like King David and stuff. Like you see, he's powerful and everything like that. He can slay anybody, do whatever, and he followed God. But something that stuck out to me about him was his ability to immediately repent.
Yeah.
He fell however many times. He was wilding, stole somebody's wife, killed the man.
He was really OC.
He was
wild.
OC.
No, David was a wild boy.
He's a wild boy. Yeah, very bad boy. Very bad boy.
Bad boy. Yeah, he's
But
very
in
bad
all
boy.
his OC-ness, every single time,
He be
when he got
quick
the
to fall on that
realization,
face.
he was
Yeah.
that boy was crying. He was doing everything. He was
quick
like,
to fall on his face.
quick to fall on his face.
But,
Go ahead, Tom.
oh yeah, I was just gonna say, it's not even a take. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people when it comes to like gifts and things of that nature, and like, oh, what am I good at? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? People are so afraid to fail. Like, bro,
Just fear in general.
failure, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. If you try to do gift of I don't know, administration or whatever,
Yeah.
and bro, that's just not your bag. But at least you
At least you know.
at least you know that's not your bag.
You don't gotta
Yeah.
waste time there no more.
Facts.
I think you gotta at least know that's not your bag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Like, and that's okay. It's okay to fail. It's really okay to fail.
I'm not gonna die.
You're not gonna die. So, test it out. Try it out. Keep asking God, of course. But as you're doing it, you want to make an effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you don't have to do everything willy nilly. Like, go everywhere and do everything. But like, look for what you think not only looks appealing, but it's like, oh, I think I actually want to really try that.
Yeah,
and
you don't want to know until you try.
exactly.
I know. To your another thing to answer your question about, how do you find gifts if you're not just natural at things or da. I think one way that a lot of people skip over is like when you're attending church or you're in a service or something like that. And it's something about the service that just annoys you, that you feel like they could be doing better or doing right. And people hate when people bring this up, but it's the truth. It's like, this thing really annoys me, but you feel like nobody gets it, nobody understands, nobody sees what you're seeing. I'm telling you, that is probably the place where you need to be serving. That is probably the place where you need to, that's probably part of your purpose.
Yeah.
Honestly. And that exact thing happened to me.
That's what you're talking about, like the financial joint?
No, not the financial thing, but that happened to me when it comes to like the position I serve at church now as the young adults president. So it was just like, bro, why do we do stuff like this? Why do we do it like this? Why don't people aren't excited to come to church? Why aren't people doing things? Why is it working in this way? And like stepping into that position, thanks to our brother Edelse Core, he asked me to help out. He asked me to assist him in like the resurgence of the young adults. And like through that, I discovered just like being a people person, like that grew, like being able to manage people and understand people and talk to people. And I told you that directly related to like my main purpose of being able to speak to people. So it aligned, but I didn't know it would play out in this fashion. So much to the point where I think I want to do project management instead of what I'm doing, or event planning or things like that, something where it involves people. But I learned a lot through that aspect because I was like, this is so annoying. I don't really know how I can affect or make a change But I started doing something, and then that aspect grew into what it is today.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, whatever's annoying you, if it's you don't like the flowers that's set up, maybe you should be a florist.
Make some moves.
You don't like the decor, maybe you should do decor. If you don't like
design or something,
the singers, maybe you should be singing.
We're so quick to complain about stuff.
Nah,
we don't even do nothing. We don't make no
Don't
moves.
do nothing.
Yeah, this thing in church really sucks.
Got
it
no
really
skin in
All right,
the
so what do you
game.
want to do about it?
nothing.
That's not my calling. What?
That's not my calling. Limb. Yeah, limb.
Yeah,
That's a limb
man.
thing to say.
Sometimes we be a little, I don't want to call us lazy, but just a little bit.
Except we're quick to criticize, but not quick to assist, and that's not
At
good.
all, man. At all. So yeah, if y'all looking at us, y'all hearing us, and that's you, that's the Holy Spirit snatching you up right now. So go out there and do something.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Purpose is weird. Purpose is always a weird topic for me.
Why weird?
Because when I was younger, I always felt like, oh yeah, you gotta have that joint really figured out.
Yeah,
Bruh, that joint. When I tell you the thing that I just said on this podcast, this episode just now, this is like vision that's being in the making. It's not even like fully realized. You know what I'm saying? You're not always gonna have the whole kit and caboodle, the whole 9 yards. Oh man, I know the whole vision board, the whole. I could see everything.
I don't even think that's
bro.
biblical. I don't think anybody who's walked in their purpose in the Bible knew everything. They were
You
just
can't.
obedient
'Cause
to
then-
what the Lord. You think
There'd be no reason for
David,
faith if that's
the
the
shepherd, knew he was going to be a king? No, that nigga was a shepherd. He was taking care of sheep, and then he killed Goliath, and then he knew he could fight.
Yeah.
he could fight, and then he
Right.
was just fighting for
Right.
the Lord
Right.
until he fought his way to the top. He became the
Yeah.
king.
It's true.
So I don't. Yeah,
Nobody ever sees the whole plan except God.
exactly.
And
there'd be no
So-
need for faith if that was the case, because then there'd be no need to trust God if
that
he
is
knew
a
every
good
single
Edda
thing
said
of the
God
plan.
it. He knows.
You know, without faith, it's impossible to please God, and we need faith. Like if you knew the plan from point A to point Z, there'd be no need. You wouldn't need God essentially because you know everything's going on.
Right.
You would think you were
Right.
God. You would compare
Yeah,
yourself to God because you knew it. Literally.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I just think it's so interesting because, people. I ain't gonna hold you. People like to act like they got it all together, or they got the whole thing.
Perception versus reality.
How many times we gotta always like
You need your soundboard for that shit.
Nah, facts.
because I know you just it's not, and that's not to say that like you have to be looking like you bumbling or fumbling or anything like that, but like.
PB&J on point.
Oh goodness gracious! I love that stuff. But you gotta, but people just gotta know. This is just a word to the wise. It's the story's not done. Your vision's not done.
Job's not finished.
The job's not finished. Job not done. Job not finished. I am still working out my purpose. I literally just found this joint out end of last year. I'm talking about December.
Yeah.
It's January.
Wait, you
And-
talking December 2023?
2023.
Dang, yeah, you just found it.
I just found this one out, like low
that's
key,
all right.
and
That's great.
and that's perfectly
Excellent.
fine. You find it out. You're not always gonna know. You're not. I mean, we're striving to be like Jesus, but we're not Jesus. Jesus knew what was good
From jump.
12, talking to old men.
Trying to take me out my father's house? Do you understand?
Yeah, come here, you rude boy. Come here. Fuck about it. You never know what happened that day, but you could be 31, you could be 40. Some people find that joint out at 50, 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't feel inadequate or don't feel bad because you don't either you don't know your purpose or you don't have the whole thing written out. What was it? Habakkuk?
Habakkuk 2.
Shout out
Right
shout out to
division, make it plain.
Yeah, shout out to my boy 80.
Yeah, that's true. Cause all the stuff I'm saying, I could be wrong. This is just best guess. I could get down this path and the Lord could be like, boy, you don't know what you talk about. This is actually what I want you to do.
And that's the thing. And that's the beauty of it too, because that's what I was saying before. Like, I feel like our granddad said purpose, but maybe the assignment. But stuff can change over time. Like what I wanted or what I had a vision for in my life at 25 is not what I had it for at 30. Yeah. And so let's even like what I'm doing now. Like I would have never thought I'd be going to schools, talking to people. Yeah. Like people are paying me to speak to them. Like, bruh, I would have never
humble flags.
Like I would have never thought that would happen. And just it just kind of came just out of me just being a source of inspiration for people and just doing my own research to try to better myself. And sometimes when you try to learn for yourself, you never know what could happen. And before you know, you just start teaching people what you learned. And like sometimes just the journey to self-discovery leads to just different things. And what you end up doing is, like you said, how you wanted to fix things in church. And now all of a sudden that led to people management and stuff like that. So you never really know what stuff can lead to. So just try things out, do stuff. And if you feel stuck, just know everyone feels stuck at some point and just go from there.
Yeah. And I think what's important is where you are, putting your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Like where you are, whatever position you're doing, whatever talent that you have now, putting your best foot forward and trying to be the best at what you're doing currently, because you're going to learn, a lot about yourself, about the aspects that you do enjoy and that you don't enjoy, and that could propel you and push you to where you're actually supposed to be going. Or you can find out, dang, I'm really nice at this thing. Yeah. And I'm right where I always wanted to be. Yeah. And I'm going to keep going back to David. That guy, if I had to guess, he wanted to be a shepherd for as long as possible. He was not thinking about nothing. Yeah. He was just, I'm out here with these sheep. Doing what I just slayed a bear the other day. I slayed a lion the other day. Like I'm nice at being a shepherd. You need me to protect a sheep, I got you. But everything that he learned in that is what helped him
exactly
in the future. Yeah. So really taking pride in what you're doing now, because you don't know how that's going to help you in the future.
Exactly. Yeah. And remember
everything that we was talking about, like people not having it all clear. That's what causes them to be complacent or be like, nah, I don't really want to. This isn't what I really feel like I want to do. I don't want to be here. I don't really want to be an usher. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Let me tell you, if you at that church and you've been there for a while, you need to be doing something.
Bruh,
something.
Yeah, just know, man, you always building your house.
Something. Something. You hand out flyers. You need to be doing something. Yeah. I'm telling you. And through that something, the Lord is going to see you, and He's going to push you in the right path, the right direction.
To your point, that's even biblical. Like as far as like being faithful with the little, so that God can trust you with like more. Because it also says in the Bible, like, to whom much is given, much is required. So like sometimes we're looking for all those big things, but like you can't handle that stuff because you can't handle the small simple things like being an usher and that's not even small. It's just like your mindset is like, oh, this is small, this is not important. Yeah. But like it's just like we're a body. Like we've talked about in the episode before, we're a body. Every single body part has a role and it's important. Like your smallest body part, your pinky toe, if you hit it on the edge of your bed, your whole body is like gonna feel and you're gonna be punished. So it's like everything has a purpose in the body of Christ. So don't forsake like the small tasks and roles.
I just want to add, like I said it before, kind of, but like just know that you're always building your house, and so the things that you're doing right now.
Edison Chorus poking on this episode.
Yeah, well, you just know you're always building your house, and what that means is anything that you're doing, just know that you're preparing.
It's a brick.
Yeah, it's a brick by brick, and you're preparing yourself for it in the future. So you just small things you're doing now, don't despise them. Don't despise the small beginnings, because you never know what you're doing now that can propel you. Just kind of like what Ike was saying, like those small things can then help you, do other things. Like, why am I doing this thing? But then little do you know, 5, 6, 7 years from now, you're gonna be doing something completely different. Like we all have that one friend who he just financed for the church. And he was miserable at first because he was like, I don't like doing this. And then now he's taking the principles that he learned in church and applying it to his own accounting business. So you just never know what opportunities can lead to when you start small.
That's how it is with my job. I did a job for 2.5 years that I ain't gonna hold you. I did not like that job. But it made me a master at like this very niche technology that now the job that I work the only reason why they brought me on
because you understood.
was because I know that jump. Like literally, that's the only reason.
Crazy.
Subject matter expert, bro. If you in IT, that's what it is, bro. Those little things, don't despise them, bro.
Despise them, man. Trust the process, man.
Trust the process.
There is a flip side. I'm going to play the contrarian as well.
The angel's advocate.
As far as like, we talked about being humble in a position and being diligent. I also want to encourage people that you don't have to stay in that position forever.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's some churches that's going to be like, what? But you've always... It's okay to grow and be like, I really want to move into a different area, a different location.
Yeah.
But as we said in some other episodes, it's important to leave well. Like if you was tough at that job and you want to move somewhere else, different avenue, please fill the gap that you about to leave behind. Don't just be like, deuces, I don't want to do this no more. I'm gonna do something else. That's not tough. That's not kosher.
Your purpose should be still helping you. Like others, whether you're in that role or you're leaving out of it. You can't say, I gotta chase my purpose somewhere else, and then the people you're serving, like you leave them hanging, you're not serving them anymore. Because then now you're doing it for another reason. It's not really for service like you're supposed to be doing. It becomes like a bit of self.
Yeah, God's not a God of confusion.
Yeah.
So if your exit not smooth, I don't know. Maybe you need to think about it.
Check your motives.
Check everything. Check it all.
Yeah.
Under the sofa. Check it all. Under the
That's gonna
rug.
be wild too. It's like you're not even leaving the church; you're just going to another position. Everybody's just like,
bro, that's when it becomes about self for real. Because like, why are you actually leaving?
why are you
Like,
actually leaving this position, bro?
what's the difference? It's like
I don't
you
like
want
it.
something bigger or better. It's like
Okay, bring somebody else.
Yeah. And that is gonna be hard too. Like it's not always gonna be easy. There's gonna be times where you feel like you do want to quit, but sometimes you gotta just press through just a little bit more and stick it out. Cause there's gonna be times where you know what I'm saying. I mean, I got a testimony in our young adult ministry, man. Our first couple events, we were just looking at each other in the bowling alley.
Like
and
this.
we was just like,
This is me and you.
yeah. So
I've been there, bro.
there's power in not giving up, man. You can be working the same thing and be in the same position for a while, and all of a sudden that extra year hit because you've been cutting at that tree for so long. That last hit, it finally falls. So
Bro, where you get your Edison
Where are you
cord?
getting this from?
This
You
is
be reading
something.
books. You be reading books.
Yeah. Who would have thought reading books would have made you smart?
Not me.
nah, for real.
Nah.
that's real, man.
Nah, I appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all feel like they got some keys to go find their
Son,
purpose?
if they don't take at least 3 points from this jump,
Yeah,
I don't know what
they
to do
weren't
for
listening
you.
for real.
Nah, honestly, I don't know what to do for you. Sorry.
How many times you said Edison core and you didn't write one? Please.
Do you have your journal out? Do you have your... Exactly. That's you.
Fumbling and bumbling through life. That's
We're bumbling and fumbling.
Listen, I'm gonna be like free core. Bama's have to pay me for the other course.
Yo, I want you to know,
Subscribe.
the bag is heavy.
Subscribe right now. Because
Bro,
this
we got
is free
to put this on
content.
Patreon at this
That's
point.
what I'm saying.
Right.
This is too free, man.
Too potent.
Y'all getting it on free.
This is negative free. This is
Oh my goodness.
bro.
Oh my goodness. But, this episode wouldn't be right. We got to do one thing before we go. It's unfortunate. We got to do a nice, not fortunate and unfortunate. It's fortunate that we have this platform to be able to do this, but it's unfortunate given the circumstances. We do want to give a shout out to our late brother, John Olasusi.
Yeah, man.
We lost a dear friend of the community, of the church, of just
7513
life.
original.
Yeah, he is an OG for real. So
Yes, sir.
we just wanted to give our tribute, give our vote of thanks, and say that we'll be praying for the family and that he meant a lot to a lot of people in the community. So
He was supporting us so much, bro.
He was,
Like, one of the
bruh.
first supporters for our podcast. Like
Yeah.
Just in
watching comments and everything. Man.
got a little choked up. Individual efforts too. Johnny
Yeah.
Shaba. Shout out to Johnny Shaba, bro.
Yeah, man.
yeah, man, he will be missed.
Very much so.
Yeah, I remember he used to comment on some of our posts and stuff like that too.
The first ones.
Yeah, the very early
The
joints.
beginning.
Even outside of podcast, like just supporting.
That's what I'm saying, like
supporting
individual
me
effort.
personally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good, man.
Love you guys.
Love you, man.
Love you, John, man.
Love
Rest
you, bro.
in peace,
And
bro.
Love the fam.
Not to end on a sad note, but we love y'all too for being supporters of the podcast, for sticking with us for this long.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, nice little surprise. This is actually the end of season 2. As I say, if you made it to the end, we should put a little Easter egg. If you made it to the end, in the comments, put bumbling and fumbling in the comments.
Hashtag bumbling and fumbling.
Let us know you made it
Hey,
to
that
the end.
joint is crazy, bro.
Too funny, bro.
Hashtag bumbling and fumbling. But y'all feel good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
This was a nice season. I'm grateful to have done it with y'all. And yeah, that's all. With that, y'all, per usual, it's a wrap.
See y'all. We wanna be ya.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not even going to Willie 15 joint. We rocking out.
First episode.
That's crazy. That's
Sorry guys, I forgot to empty out the clip, you know what I'm saying? So the video came off, but it's all good. End of season 2.
Yeah.
Episode time.
Put it on me. See,
Wait, I'm not done.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, you can go back.
I see our technical difficulties. If the Lord is laying it on your heart to bless us with a max, the biggest SD card you can find for a Black Magic, something, but I don't know the
That's
numbers.
Black Magic.
We get it to you. If you
No,
want
you
to
know
bless
what,
the pod,
More so than like blessing us with an SD card, if you want to bless us by joining the team, if you want to be behind the camera so we know that we're rolling and we
Step
don't
up.
find
Don't
out
be
in
scared.
the halftime that like
Don't be
no
scared.
video.
Yeah, man.
Join us.
Don't be scared.
Join us now.
We did it, Joe. Season 2, man. It's a wrap.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, do the.
Like,
Let me see if I get it.
comment,
No boy.
Wrong way.
It's that one first. That one first. One second, yeah, third. Yeah.
Did it, Joe. I don't know. You did it.
One of those gonna work.
You gonna flip it.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.
Hey, yeah.